decision. I'll face the sunny side head on. I had a vision of what it might be like.
What's up, Bad TV?
What's
in
up?
studio, we got Pat, Dylan, and Ruby in studio.
Hey, what's that?
What's going on,
Are
guys?
you guys going to put this on your feed as well?
Yeah.
You do your own intro.
Yeah,
then.
do your intro.
You intro.
Hi, hello, welcome to Bad TV. We're here with me, Ruby, Pat, Kaylin, Lynette, and Steph.
Big room, full of people.
A lot of people.
Full house.
A lot of people. So, Ruby, you're visiting.
I'm visiting.
We love to have
I'm
her in
visiting.
person. Most of the time, all our shows that we collaborate with her. Well, actually, collaborate. She's a co-host now. Is via Zoom.
Yeah.
I like it in person better.
She lives in the big
Yeah.
city. I might have rabies. We stayed in an Airbnb. There was a bat in the Airbnb that was accosting everyone in the Airbnb in the middle of the night. So I don't know. I feel pretty low energy right now. I'm really sorry, but I might have rabies.
Great.
Did it bite you?
No, it didn't bite us, but it touched a couple of people. And I don't know. Bats are sweet, but they're vile creatures. They have lots
They
of
are.
airborne.
I
Do
think
you mind sitting over there?
I think
Yeah,
you
I
only
know.
can get rabies through sexual activity, though.
Okay, well,
Oh, so none of us are safe.
yeah, no, I didn't.
Ruby, were you there with the bat?
I was not with the bat,
Okay.
so we're
No.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
So what are you going to do? We're going to talk some reality TV?
Yeah, let's talk. What do you guys want to start with?
I just want to bring up, though, because before we started recording, we were talking about what your kid is watching, which I thought was interesting. Like, we're watching reality stuff, but she's watching.
It's really weird what children watch now. And actually, no, you pointed out what we were watching when we were kids was equally as weird. But now it's all homemade, and a lot of it is being brought to you by, I think, the Ukraine. So it's all these different videos. They're well made, very colorful. You can tell they've done like their
Why
science.
do you say Ukraine and not the Ruskies?
I don't think it's the Ruskies.
You don't think it's the Ruskies?
I don't think so. No,
Well,
no,
they're
no.
the ideological subversion crowd, you know.
I wouldn't know, but sure.
Yeah,
but
you
so,
would.
So your child is being gifted the adventures of a little Ukrainian girl.
Yeah, it's odd. It's really.
What is she? Does it say like it's okay to feel mad? Sometimes you get your feelings like that.
Yeah, it's definitely feelings based. It's I'm just used to cartoons like
I know,
like
Bugs Bunny.
Cocomelon or Bugs Bunny. Yes, those things. These things are odd, very well
I
produced.
heard about Cocomelon, or is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
That
Chinese malware.
Yes, that if you watch, if you heard about this, it gets the people that are the kids that are watching it. It literally has. They make it so you're addicted. Your brain gets addicted more and more. If you shut it off, they show videos. You shut it off after 30 seconds in the middle of the kid watching it, they freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they throw tantrums. My friend said that they only let their daughter watch Cocomelon if she's flipping out on planes. And when they put Cocomelon on the airplane, they can literally move the screen back and forth, and she's just completely fucking quiet and fine. It's like a Xanax for kids.
Right.
Where does this go? Because you guys both have teenagers. I always thought that social media would be played out, and it would be like the lame thing that mom and dad did, and like we don't want any part of it.
Right.
And the same goes for like TikTok in the future. I mean, in 10 years from now, is this kind of played out and people are like, yeah, I don't need to watch a bunch of weird, creepy videos that are trying to get inside my brain. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's always social media. There's always going to be the next thing. Like they're going to go like the TikTok's going to be a thing of the past. Maybe there's going to be something else that comes along. I don't know. But I think they're going to be addicted to their phones the rest of their life.
Well, I'm still back on Facebook Reels. So, which to me is the same as TikTok, but my kids say it's not the same. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
The one thing I'm troubled by, and my kid hasn't experienced this yet, but I have a friend that lives just down the street. He has an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. They can't sit through a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the kids can't do it. They can't.
A lot of people, though, like I have friends who are I'm 31 years old, and I will not recommend certain television shows to people because I'm like, I know that you can't not look at your phone, so you don't deserve to watch this show because you can't put it down. So go watch something that's less important.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying to Lynette, right before we started that I've been watching Love is Blind UK, which we should talk about, but I'm loving it because I can understand it. So I can look at my phone while it's on in the background, but I can't do that with Mexico, Brazil, whatever the other one. So South Africa was that? No, that was the ultimatum.
Is that how bad you love Love is Blind? Like you're jonesing for it that bad?
I do love that show, and I don't know why. Although I was a little bit more bored with this one for the lead up.
I
but
started
I think it's
watching
gonna get
it.
UK.
I started watching it. I think I was just way too high, and it made me sad. But there was one girl on there that said, I'm looking for somebody to emotionally stabilize me."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god!
I'm trying to think who that was.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know
I
any of the
don't
names. I
remember
just
that.
want. Are you watching UK, Lynette?
No.
It's amazing. As always with Love is Blind, I'm sorry. It's the first episode is really boring.
Right.
You know, it's just everybody talking.
It's always like that for
With
the
their
first episode
notebook.
ever, until you
Right.
get to know everybody. Yeah, with their
Fucking
notebook.
notebook.
My
I got my notebook. Okay, how many lovers have you had? Let me write that down. Yeah.
My favorite episode is always probably the third one because that's where all the proposals happen, and then they give you a little tease of them at the resort.
Yes.
And then you get to
Yes.
see, oh, is this all good? Just going to fall apart? Like,
Right.
I like when everyone sees each other for the first time and half the people are thrilled and the other half panic because they don't want to
Yeah.
get canceled, but they're not attracted to their spouse.
Exactly.
That's
Just
fun.
weird. Like I was watching it, and this guy was like, "What do you do for work?" And she was like, "I'm a dental hygienist." And he like,
I'm a dental nurse.
"I'm a dental nurse," and he was like, "Oh my god, no way!"
oh, I think I know who he's doing an imitation of.
The funeral director guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Freddie.
no. Well, I like him a
Freddie,
lot.
who's very cute.
He is. I
he
like
looks
him a
like
lot.
Harry Jowsey.
All right, who is the weirdo who kept telling the girl that he picked, just trust me?
Sam.
Sam is a
Sam and
creepy son of a
Nicole.
Is that Rat Boy? He kind of
Yeah.
Rat Boy Summer, and he
Yes.
constantly talks about how he said something about how when he's standing outside of bars, he's gonna get attention or something, but he doesn't
Sounds
like
like
that.
him.
You look like a rat. I don't know. I don't.
He kept trying.
He's
He kept
not
trying to
good-looking?
say that he's good looking.
He's cute.
He's
fine.
fine.
Exactly. He's fine. He's not like you're not going to see him and go like, ooh, he's cute, but he's either thinks he's really good looking, or he's trying to create that impression. So he kept saying like, oh, like
Yeah.
a lot of people, they just when they see me, they think I'm like a fuckboy.
Right.
Like, nobody's thinking that.
Yeah.
Like nobody's thinking that.
Is there different UK things that they do? Like, are different things hot in the UK than
Soccer
they are here?
teams are more important.
No, Dylan, like appearance wise.
They are starting to. We're all starting to meld into one person. Honestly, with UK, I could. If you just said that was America, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's
Right.
No,
Okay.
you can see it. Like there are certain.
There's some bad teeth.
Yeah, well, no, the Essexes of it all. Like Essex looks like Jersey. It's
Yeah.
like they're.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like why are you have so much tanner on and your
Yes.
eyebrows are like.
I learned that from Love Island. There's a lot of that. You can see the difference.
I think.
Quick diversion. You want to talk about an addictive show that melts people's brains? Love Island. My wife. That's the only show my wife likes when I go to bed.
Cherie's
and
porn.
Insists that I do not talk. She'll stop the remote when I'm talking while she's watching it,
Yes.
as if to shut up. How dare I?
It's her Cocomelon.
It's her
Right,
Cocomelon.
it
That's my point.
is.
Sorry.
It
It's
is.
her Coco. I don't know what it is about the show. I've watched at least 5 episodes, at least in the background.
you're not-
It does not.
Are
grab
you
me.
watching
Me
it?
neither.
No, I
can't
can't.
get addicted to it.
Me neither.
I'm not feeling the buzz.
I got a
that other
text.
people feel.
I got a text.
Yeah, I know as you like reality TV. I like reality TV. I like the relationship ones. I don't know why. I can't touch it. I've tried. It doesn't. It's too much probably for me. I don't know.
Well, there is a million episodes.
That was the
Oh,
first time I ever watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is good." Like I'm watching episode after episode because what are they like 12 minutes long? The episodes?
Oh
or
no,
something
they're
like?
full
Well,
length,
they're like
Are
an
they?
hour and 10. They're over an hour.
and they're every night.
I was
Yeah.
burning through Love Is Blind, and then I was like, "How many episodes have I watched?" And I went to the library and I saw like, I mean, it's like a Tolkien. It's like so
Yeah.
many fucking
36
episodes. And I
episodes.
was like, "Okay, I'm
Dylan,
out.
you're the one that told me about Love Island years ago.
I really
You
liked
told me
it.
to watch Love Island UK, which
Yeah.
I did, and I got addicted. I didn't really watch the USA one until
Yeah.
this season. This season there was a lot of drama.
Well,
that's
shame
why.
on us for not supporting Ariana.
How was the host? Was Ariana good?
She's fantastic.
Wow,
She
that's great.
Great.
It's a pretty
this
easy
was
gig too.
So she wasn't hosting a British one. This was an American
US
This
Love
is
one.
her
Island.
inaugural. Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
the difference between Love Island and any other show? Do they meet each other
I think
and then
it's
they just
smuttier.
decide if they want to fuck
They
right
have
away?
to be hooked up in a couple, otherwise you're at risk to getting booted.
Do they have sex?
Yeah,
No,
some of them do.
I thought the
Okay.
thing was that if you did hook up, you get punished somehow.
That's a different show.
That's too hot to handle.
handle.
Oh, that's too hot to handle.
That's the one.
They
that
take
I was
money away
watching.
from you.
There's
Yeah.
a new season of that out too.
It's all bad. But you brought up New Jersey.
Yeah, are you guys watching Jersey?
I sure am.
Did you watch the finale of Jersey? Do you watch Jersey?
I haven't watched
She
it,
doesn't
but you
watch
guys talk. please.
Yeah, I'll sip.
Steph.
Those people disgust me.
Oh my God.
Steph,
They
you
remind me of
gotta-
every parent when I was a little kid.
They're ruthless. They're all ruthless.
Steph, you should just watch the finale. It's so funny.
It is. If anybody doesn't watch it, honestly, better if you don't.
Yeah.
Watch
Oh.
this season's finale of New Jersey.
Yeah.
You have women. They are so fractured and they're all flying off the handle. It is unbelievable. It's one of the best episodes of Housewives I've ever seen. I
Absolutely.
think, honestly.
Yeah.
I
It's-
agree.
Give us a tiny bit of background. So Teresa and Melissa,
Melissa, they're sister-in-laws,
Love.
right? But they hate each other,
now.
and they have for years, right?
Correct.
And they keep trying to make up, but they
Well,
can't.
Teresa's now with this weirdo loser Louis that she married.
and he's
who's
supposed to have
creepy.
maybe committed some crimes or something.
This is correct. Yeah. And also like
This is
abused some
correct.
women and such.
Yeah.
And there are some, he's not the best dude.
and he has private investigators named
Bo Dietl.
Bo Dietl
Dietl.
investigating the other people on the
But
cast.
there have been actual full-blown fistfights this season.
There has.
Between women?
Jen and Danielle. Jen accused Danielle of being cheap with her charity and paying out from the profits of the charity, which is, I think, that's something that's just done in nonprofit work.
This is not OG Danielle, is it?
No,
Not Danielle
No.
Staub.
Great
No?
question.
Okay, different
No.
Danielle.
Great question.
This Danielle then is told that her husband has boobs,
Yeah.
and she flies across the table and she physically assaults him.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you think
Yeah.
that it's as though someone has like hit her child or something.
Or
her
like-
reaction is instant
It's like
and
she
volatile.
made fun of her husband that has cancer by saying your
Yes.
husband with the cancer, but she didn't. She just said your husband with the boobs, and she tried to physically assault her for the second time.
the
this
second
season.
time.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. And her husband is also very cute, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have
don't
boobs.
see any man
yeah,
boobs.
yeah, no.
I don't know
she's-
why that touched on
And
her.
Jen's husband looks like
Jafar.
he looks like a bazaar dealer.
Yes.
So I don't know where
He
she's
does
coming
look
from.
like Jamar too.
Yeah.
But you have this one couple that is a younger couple that is like, they don't have as much money, but they have so much love in their house, and they are such like fans of each other, and it's such great teamwork. And then this other couple that lives in this hideous palace on the side of the freeway in Paramus with 5 kids, and
An arranged marriage.
Yeah, he's like never home. He doesn't like her. She doesn't like
that
him.
Jen?
Yeah, this is Jen.
Yeah.
And so they're the ones who are fighting, and it's just, then you have a set of sisters who are fighting. Then you have people who are in passing being told that they recall a story differently, and the response to that is, and I guess turn it down if you don't want to be insulted, I didn't lie, you fucking cunt. And you're like people start calling each other cunts, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my
yeah.
God.
It's
lot
really,
of
really
cunts.
wild.
Unbelievable.
There's so much vitriol, and it's so
My favorite
toxic.
part of the finale, though, was Teresa and Melissa are like pretty much ignoring each other most of the time. And then when Danielle lunged across the table and all hell broke loose and everybody stood up, and then like Melissa was looking at Teresa going, "Oh, you're telling them to calm down? Look you're the one that you taught. They learned from you. They learned from you." And then she's like, "Fuck you." And Teresa's like, "Fuck you." She has nothing to say. "Fuck you." And then they're both posing at each other like,
Yep. They literally have a pose
they
off.
literally both have a pose off.
They have a pose off, and they call each other whores.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then she she says, I'll make sure to tell my daughter that you called me a whore.
Your aunt called me a whore today.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Highly
Poetry in
recommend it.
motion.
And the last time we'll see some of these people, because Andy
think
just
so.
said that he's revamping it.
Yeah.
And he also said partly, I don't know how his daughter would have seen an episode, but based upon some language that was used back and forth on that reunion, he just said, I thought about my kid and I'm like, I don't want this anymore. It's like, Andy, you created
this. And now he's got kids.
Andy,
now he's
then-
got to like,
You have to quit your job then.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Kaylin's making hand signs.
Oh, sorry.
Oh God. Is he
Sorry.
pretty tyrannical?
Sorry. Yes.
He is.
So bossy.
When he speaks.
So how's Bachelor going? Bachelorette.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Bachelorette? I'm not sure.
I have thoughts.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I believe the Bachelorette franchise has finally just settled in as this is what we do. We're not going to tweak it anymore. We're just going to go back to the old ideas that worked. We understand if we pay this much for a season from a production standpoint, we know this many people will listen, and that's it. And that's what this season feels like. It just feels like 2008 Bachelorette.
Really?
Because for a while, Lynette, they tried to have 2 Bachelorettes. They tried to just kind of tweak the format
Yeah,
a
that
little
looks
bit.
confusing.
And I think they're just kind of back to what worked and kind of just accepting this is what we are. No show gets to go 22 years. And
Oh my God, yeah.
10 at least on top, on the top.
Yeah, we were talking about it, like the creative confines of any ideation that comes out of that production is gonna be really kind of bad, because it's not like they're not gonna do anything that's so creative or so groundbreaking within the sandbox of the Bachelorette. That this season, it feels like they were just like, okay, you know what? Let's stop with all the shit.
Innovations
Let's
or
whatever.
stop with the 2 Bachelorette thing was,
a mess.
I mean, it was horrible. Like, that makes all the sense in the world. That would be amazing television, but they have to adhere to this fucking stupid, like, respect for one of, like, the sisterhood thing. So they were kind of like very reverential towards one another in their picks, and we were like, no, we want you to.
Yeah, you got to kill each other. You're trying to find your husband, right?
We want you to kill each other.
Yeah.
So it didn't work.
So what do you think of the season overall?
I think it's pretty boring. I mean, it's easy to make fun of, but
Who's the
Very
Bachelorette?
easy.
She's the
Jen Tran.
from last. She was wasn't she like one of the?
Yeah, but she
last,
was like in the top
So
6.
I did
or
watch last
something. Yeah.
season.
So here's what happened.
She's
Last
cute.
season, they really wanted Maria, but then Maria said she didn't want to do it. So she was like, came in 3rd or 4th. Then they wanted Daisy. So Daisy was in the top 2, who was like a total MAGA, like,
Oh, sick.
yeah.
Was Daisy the one with the hard of
The
hearing?
hearing
Yes.
aid or something?
Yes.
Okay, she was the
Oh.
blonde.
So
Okay.
she decided she didn't want to do it. So they ended up with Jen, who was like, yeah, not under consideration. And I think it shows in the guys they picked for her, because there was like one Asian guy. And this isn't just me saying this. Like, she said she was disappointed in the fact that, like, I feel like if you realize, okay, Jen's our Bachelorette, like, go back and find some guys that if she says,
Yeah.
like, I want representation, like, it's not, I'm the first Asian Bachelorette.
Sure.
Show me some Asian guys. Like,
Also, people that I want to actually, if you want me to get married, give me somebody that I can actually bring home to my mom, because
Right.
my dad left, and I
My
can
dad
say,
left. Yeah.
that,
My dad
listen,
left
do
for
you
the
like
70th
this?
time.
my dad left.
And also, like, she describes it as he quit. He was like, no more dad for me. I throw my towel in and I quit. She,
Yeah.
as a person, seems to be quite a lovely woman. She looks like a Disney princess.
She
She's
is.
She does.
so beautiful.
She looks like a fucking Disney princess. It's insane. But Pat called the one Asian contestant. You referred to him, and we all do now at this point. But he called him Tattoo.
He was a small, diminutive man, so I'd always play the plane boss.
Yeah,
the plane.
yeah.
By the
I
way,
know
Thomas was
Tattoo.
really annoying. Okay, so
Yeah.
he deserved that. Thomas was super annoying.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, we played every time Thomas got brought up. Patrick would pull up a YouTube video of that small, I think, Polynesian
Yep.
dwarf screaming the plane.
The plane.
The plane.
So you have another guy who's doing pretty well on the season named Devin, who
hate.
So Devin,
Chubby Pete Davidson.
Hate.
Yes,
And
yes.
really?
Also,
What does a
behind
chubby
the
Pete
scenes,
Davidson?
This guy.
Devin is basically a 9/11 conspiracy theorist.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
How do you know? Like, are you on Reddit reading
Oh,
about
yeah.
all the?
24/7.
This is the thing, like, so what was Daisy not tapped because she was too MAGA?
I don't think The Bachelor has any problem with that.
That's what
no.
I was going to say. Oh, you find
I
out
think
that
she really
like,
said no.
all of these people on the show, especially the men, as they go further into the competition, you find the Facebook posts and all the shit,
The problem is they're not just like Republicans.
Yeah.
They're like hardcore, hard right, like
Yeah.
liking all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And that's who these are like the top guys.
And
Yeah.
that's not, I don't believe that's her, right? Like I didn't
No.
watch Joey's season, but, and so I have not dived into her anything, but I don't believe that she seems to be supportive of that type of behavior.
I can't imagine.
And I think too that we love Marcus, but Marcus and the most in
So
the
Marcus
truest
is our military guy.
That's right.
and he's lovely, but
He's definitely going to be top 3.
he
Or Stephanie may know because she's got the spoilers.
I don't know if he's going to be top 3 because what Ruby's alluding to is that he suffered a very, 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 very grave injury in the fields of combat. And it just doesn't look like he's mentally capable of being on this television show right now because
He shouldn't.
stood over a grenade in Afghanistan.
that then blew up, and then he had to relearn how to live his entire life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
And then she asks him if he's okay
Go
after
home.
a rugby match, and he just starts crying and says, I don't want to be perceived as weak. And it's just like, dude,
Oh no.
Well, hold on. That
We-
guy that
we love
sold
you
his kidney to buy heroin, he
Oh.
made a triumphant comeback, and he actually won the prize.
yeah, but he
Yeah.
shouldn't have been on TV either. And, fast forward, and you've got him screaming at Tayshia during a marathon to speed the fuck up.
Yeah, that's true.
We're talking about the
He's-
Lisperer.
There's a guy that sold his kidney for heroin.
I think he was considering it.
Oh, okay.
He wrote some of his
thought about it.
bad checks from his dad's
Yeah,
bank
he,
account.
Got
he
it.
wrote some bad checks from his dad's bank account, and then his dad staged an ambush at the bank one day, and he was trying to write a bad check for the 4th time to buy heroin. His dad walked in. He was like, buddy, what are we doing?
Wow, this poor bachelorette, she's got a pool of.
This was a former season.
Yeah,
yeah.
Tayshia's
Okay.
season, and that guy won. Mm-hmm. That guy
He
she
did.
chose him. He's
He
been
did.
sober a long time though. He's been
Okay.
sober like over 10 years.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to take a quick break.
Can we take your pulse on? I don't even know what his name is. We call him Goose and Blaze.
Oh, we changed it. Top Gun. I believe the Rosebrooks has named Blaze. Our Blaze is their MAGA.
MAGA. Okay, MAGA.
Sam. The good-looking
Oh,
guy.
Sam, whose accent changes depending on who he's talking to. Sometimes he's like,
He sounds like our political elites.
and sometimes he's like, "Yo, what up, bitch?
He gets-
I'm gonna fuck you up."
He gets
You're-
so black so fast.
It's insane.
And it's like not okay because
No,
there are
it's
other
very
black
racist.
guys on the show, and we talk about like what are these guys thinking
Right.
when he's
Yeah.
doing that.
Him and Devin got into it a couple episodes back where, the twang came out in both their voices. I do remember.
How many episodes has it been already?
5, and you know the entire season.
Can I pitch a show? I wish Reality Steve was here because he loves me pitching him ideas.
Yeah.
They should have why not use that hour after the episode, that late night 10 o'clock spot, to just do another version of like Bachelorette House and just have them all in a house with each other. I don't even know what just rather than wait and do a horrible season of Bachelor in Paradise, just always have 1 hour of past contestants competing for something. They're all just having sex with each other.
Right.
I'd watch that
Kind of
show.
like a summer house or whatever. I don't know. I never watched Summer House, but like something like that, like where they all come and they're in the house and
For 1 hour.
for 1 hour.
Yes, I can't stand the let's jam down 10 episodes back to back of 2 hours of them all on a beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
They can't do Paradise like that anymore. I also think because there aren't the benefit of it is not 400,000 followers. It's like 8. And they're
Right.
down there on a beach they're fucking tortured. There's no air conditioning. They
Yeah.
sleep in like twin beds with like bugs and crabs. And
Crabs.
there's like
no
no
air. That's
it's-
weird.
Could you imagine having to like straighten your hair and do a full face of makeup
forget
every
it.
single time you were on TV
Yeah,
in no
no.
air conditioning? Not me.
And also, the way it's structured Bachelor in Paradise as a competition, it really is not fair to people coming in late in the game. So that never made sense.
Right.
Everybody couples up in the first, I don't know,
Yes.
4 or 5 days. And then anybody who comes in after that is just kind of like
Yeah,
Right.
and you
lambs
have
for the
people
slaughter.
come in who you don't know who they are, and nobody else knows who they are, and they walk around and they try to get dates, and then they just get bit by crabs and they go home.
Right.
Literally, that's what happens
That's
to
what
people,
happens
and they're
to them.
sweating profusely the entire time.
Yeah.
So is there
And
not
sometimes
more?
they can't go to the bathroom.
Are they
Oh,
not
yeah.
doing Bachelor in Paradise anymore?
I don't think so. They'd have to. They usually start that up right around now.
Right.
Stephanie, you probably know better than us.
I think it got canceled. Yeah, definitely. It's not happen. I think it's not happening. Maybe they'll bring it back. I don't know.
And the other thing, like how I don't know why ABC has this like inflated sense of self that where they put 4 hours of this show on every week towards the end of it. Like it's Monday night, Tuesday night. It just feels like you're trying to get done with a bowel movement, but you're making all of us watch it.
I refuse to watch the tell-alls.
Oh, so you don't watch it?
Yeah.
Now,
I fast forward the dates, to be honest.
You do?
A lot of the dates.
Oh, you can get some
Sometimes-
incredible stuff
Not
out of
the
those
dates,
dates.
sorry. The like competitions and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Same.
You know, like I
Fast
don't need to see
forward.
the wacky girls getting dressed up in different, bridal gowns and like fight over it. You know, this.
But I
wanna
always
get
fast
some-
forwarded on Survivor too, at the competitions. I don't really care.
Okay,
I
because
want them fighting on, like, I want them getting really
Politicking.
hungry and mad at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't care about, like, oh, you have to swim out to this buoy and then
Right.
swim back.
Ruby
like,
is an
I'm bored.
encyclopedia
I
of
love
Survivor.
Survivor.
You are?
So much more than I should. I think that show is one of the greatest social experiments we've ever seen.
I
Yeah.
love
do.
that
It's
show.
Her
so
and
good.
her boyfriend zoomed. They were on different coasts, so they got together and they Zoom watched the finale together.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's so
I love
cute.
that show.
That's how important that show
It's
is.
still
to both
going
of them.
strong, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There have been some changes to the new era.
What do
but
you think of the competitions?
I
Because they
think-
are a lull for me as well when I'm watching.
Once they are starving, the competitions are they're actually a feat to watch.
Yeah.
I mostly watch the competitions for Jeff because Jeff commenting on it
I love
that
it.
should be a show in itself.
I think he's one of the best hosts
Couldn't
of
agree more.
reality.
He's
TVs.
probably the best.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, to see Jeff Probst get into a wake or a shoreline and just scream, there's nothing like it on TV. It's perfect.
And he calls people out too. And
Totally. He's kind of savage to people. He has to deal with people who they get a cast of characters on that show that are nutbags. They're insane. They're weirdos. Some of them are cool. Some of them are not. And he's just never phased by any of their stuff.
No.
It's great.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
gives me
he's a
Tom
pro.
Cruise energy. I get Tom Cruise energy. from
Quick
Probst.
Jeff Probst story. I'll make it super fast. Many years ago, I've told this on our show before. I worked on a show as a producer. It was a pilot. It never got picked up. And Jeff Probst was the host. And he could not have been any nicer. He was super insecure though, which was like very cute. I'd love to if I ever run into him, I'll have to remind him because he called all of the producers afterwards and said like, I just want to know, like, how do you think I did? Like, is there anything I could do better? Like, is there any weaknesses I had? And
What was
it
the
like,
premise of the show?
well, it was so stupid. It was for Fox, and it was years ago when Mike Darnell was like, Mike Darnell would come up with a show idea and his show idea was like, I wanted like a dating show, but like if people fuck, like they win. And it's my friend Phil Gurin's company, and Phil was like, okay, so that's the show we're gonna do. And I was like, well, you can't really do that because you're asking, like, you can't reward a guy for like date rape, basically. Like
Right.
we gotta. So
No.
we had to
now,
kind
but
of
Love Island's doing that.
exactly. Well, this was many, many years ago, like pre-kids. So this was like over 20 years ago. So anyway, I just remember that we were like, okay, how can we work around that?
Yeah,
Like
the
maybe you
rape.
have little goals. Like if you can get the girl to tell you to, whatever, if you can put your arm around her, like let's tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jeff was like, all right, what do you want me to do? Because it was pre-Survivor. He was not anybody at the time.
Yeah.
So he was just like, I'm in. What do I, okay, so these people have to have sex? Okay, I'll,
Yeah.
and it was really funny.
We had obviously Mark Wahlberg. I'm not sure if has it been announced. Mark Wahlberg, there hasn't. Okay. Anyway, our friend Mark Wahlberg used to host a show called Temptation Island.
Temptation Island.
2000, talking about all the ideas that came out of the early versions of reality TV. Temptation Island, I remember dating a girl, and we drove home 60 miles an hour to get home for the finale of that show. And that was the same year that they launched Survivor, too.
Yes. Yeah.
And shortly after was Bachelor, and then it was off to
it
the
was
races.
on.
But we had Mark in studio, and I played some reality shows that were like really crazy mean-spirited. Do you remember one called Are You Hot?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
ABC. I was at ABC when it came out.
Wasn't it Hot or Not? Are
It was
You
Hot or Not.
With Lorenzo
Are you hot or not?
Lomas.
Lorenzo
Where
Lomas.
he
Yes.
just put his little pen and point out the boobs.
Yeah,
and
that
he-
lasted like.
Look, man, you
4
got a great
episodes.
chin line. I think you're pretty hot. Yeah.
I know.
Great biceps. Yeah, man. I'm going to give you a 7.2.
Yeah.
Was
You're like, wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah, we were yucking
Ridiculous.
up. And then, of course, there was the Swan.
Yeah,
my
the Swan,
God.
which is that what launched
Yes.
Terry
Fox.
DeBro?
Yes, sir.
That's what created the monster.
Thank you, the Swan, for giving us the monster that is Terry DeBro.
Oh,
Terry
wow.
DeBro.
So on the Swan,
He's
for
been
those of
around.
you who don't know, this would be people that would come in for like a whole bunch of plastic surgery.
Becoming a different person.
Frankenstein experiment.
Yes, and then they would have a special hotel for them where you'd have
They
your
recover.
nurse that the
Recovery.
and then they'd have to. But the recovery would go on like 6 months. Like you can't have
it
a
was 6 months.
facelift and
Yeah.
just like, all right,
Right, you're-
2 weeks later, it's no Bachelor. It's like then they have to follow these people. Then they come out for their big reveal, but it's been like 9 months or whatever, and they're like, okay, and they would all look the same. It was all that plastic surgery. They would all have
the hair
big lips,
extensions.
New teeth.
same nose, teeth.
And it was
yeah.
this psychotic, eyes wide shut kind of grand ceremony at the end where they would walk out into this foyer and all the doctors who had given
yeah.
these women new arms all like clapped for themselves
Oh, yeah.
and their work. It was fucking psychotic.
I actually thought in 2004, I'm like, all right, are we a couple years away from being gladiators with swords killing each other? And we're going to watch, I mean, it's called UFC without the swords now,
Right.
but it was coming. There was another show that we found that we did with Mark Wahlberg, which was called Are You My Dad? Do you remember that one?
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I do. I remember that one.
yeah.
So
Well, I remember
it'd be a
you
bunch
showing
of
it.
dads living in a house with girls, and they wanted to know which one was their dad. And it was a crazy premise.
It was just girls.
I believe so. Steph, do you remember?
It would be great if the girls, like if people didn't know what the premise of the show was and you surprise them with it so they think they're on a dating show.
Oh my
So
God.
the older guys are trying to date these like young women. They're like, this is the best premise ever. I love this show. And then you find out like, oh, that girl you were trying to date was your daughter.
That would be
Well,
great.
that's like
Mark
MILF
Burnett.
Manor. Have you guys seen that?
Okay, so I felt all right. So did you guys watch MILF Manor?
Yes.
Okay,
Season
can we talk
1.
about this? Season 1, I dropped off episode 3 once the reveal. I'm
It
like,
was
too weird.
too weird.
Don't like it.
Uncomfortable to watch.
Season 2, I said, you figured it out.
So what did they do for season 2?
Season 2, they had, Steph, did you watch?
No.
You didn't watch. Okay. So season 2, they have a bunch of, not my title, MILFs in the house. And then they had the sons, young guys, and they hang out with 22-year-old guys in the house for about a day or two. Then their dads show up.
Oh, so the guys' dads.
The guys' dads. And now the dads and their sons are
Are in
competing for the
competition.
attention.
Oh.
Okay. And is
That's
there
that's better than the first season.
Now the problem
first season
is
was so creepy.
So that's fun, except the show has no real stakes because they try and rush you to an ending where they're going to stand at the end of a beach launch and then decide if they're going to go off into the sunset with each
Got
other.
it.
Which they're not.
Okay.
And so that's where it kind
right.
of fell off.
Did you
Right.
guys watch that show? I forget what network it was on, but it was literally nude people, and they would expose small parts of your body
Oh,
as
yeah.
it went
Oh,
up.
yeah.
and
Dylan and I
they could-
covered
Oh,
it.
yeah.
What
That's a great show.
And that was like just everybody's beautiful. Here we go.
Right.
Like if you want to be able to learn how to tell somebody you're fucking hideous and not my type, but really, really politely, that show did that 20 times an episode.
Flawlessly,
Really
because-
well.
I like your penis, but I prefer a penis that's a little like leaner.
Right.
Like
Right.
you have kind of your penis
And
is
also,
fat.
you
like
know-
that's what they would literally kind of do.
We're very ignorant in this country to
Not trying to fat shame your dick. but
No,
I'm
but
just saying
that's-
like
Yeah. Dylan pointed out, because we did, looked at all 6 penis offerings in a particular episode. Dylan went through one by one and judged them. One of them looked like an alien. It like had a head coming out of a head.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
picture
There's
that.
like
this
Total
really,
Recall thing.
really horrifying thing that foreskins can kind of warp into that we don't really know in this country, but in other countries the foreskins warp into things that are really, really horrifying. But they imagine letting somebody down with all the clothes on. You know, that'd be difficult, and people can be very rude about it. Imagine it looking at somebody's penis, and there's kind of like a raisinette of skin at the tip of the penis, and you have to say, like, very cordially, like, that makes me sick. But
You know what? You can do a lot more like with puppetry of the penis.
That's right.
oh yeah,
With foreskin.
yeah,
Ruby,
yeah.
what was the name of that show?
I really can't
Yeah,
remember.
it was on recently. We talked about
They
it.
dropped 6 episodes. It had been popular in the UK. They're
Right.
always ahead of us
Right,
on these
right,
crazy
right.
ideas.
like Naked Love or something.
That-
like
Yeah,
might be
it had naked in the
Naked,
title.
naked.
Naked Love.
something.
When you have a show like that,
Caitlin's like, I don't work here. I don't know what you're doing.
he's looking it up.
Is
Where
he?
else? I think he is.
I don't think he is.
Oh, he is it. Oh.
No, he looks things up on the smaller computer. He's watching it. He's watching TV right
Naked
now.
Attraction.
Naked Attraction.
All right, so that show pushes boundaries because they would then follow them once the person picked the other person. They would go on a date, and the 3 episodes I saw, they always had sex.
They did.
Yes, and then they'd follow up with them like a month later, and they were still dating. It actually had a better kind of success rate than The
batting
Bachelor.
average.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the I saw a commercial the other day for Date My Mom and Next, those 2 shows that were on MTV?
Oh yeah.
Really, really wild that those got to exist for any period of time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nuts. We've broken down many Maury segments on various different shows, but the fact that was allowed to exist for as long as it did.
Date my mom.
No.
Maury?
Maury's genetic testing segment.
Oh, you mean like you are the father?
You are.
That-
And then you have a dude jumping up and down,
Jumping for joy.
like
The kid is in the
background,
background,
like with a
It's
tear
like,
coming down his eye.
Sorry, are we not going to cancel Maury for this?
I know.
Or there's just mom standing up over some man crying, going, I told you, I fucking told you.
right.
And there's always the kid there watching it
Yes.
happen.
How
So I don't have a dad.
fuck was that okay? Not
I
only was it
know.
okay, it went on I think it ended in 2023.
It did.
Yeah.
And they signed a contract where the reruns will be on for the next 20 years.
And
It's-
he released a paternity test, Maury,
oh, like a brand.
like for you to use.
Oh, really?
Not
Yes.
only did he not get
Ching.
shamed for that, he rolled out a product line off of it.
Cheers to him.
I love how that
Cheers,
show started
Maury.
out earnestly, like
Right.
interviewing political figures
yes.
and artists, and then
Yes.
it just devolves.
It
to,
morphed into this.
The audience wants
Right.
pregnancy tests and paternity tests.
Wasn't Jerry Springer like a mayor of some?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
And then
He lost
And then
his
he
job
did-
because he wrote a check to a prostitute. He wrote a check.
Wow, wow, Jerry.
That's right.
Sorry, quick Jerry Springer story.
Yeah.
I heard he
When
was
I
a
was
nice
working
guy
on
too.
Whose Line Is It Anyway, he
As a
he
writer?
was a guest as a writer. He came on as like a guest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, being funny, doing improv, and totally hit on me and asked me for my phone number, but then never called me. Was the
Jerry.
weird thing. He was already like twice my age at the. Like,
Yeah.
Not that he's gotten to
Roughly
be more than
what
twice
year?
my
I'm
age, but
curious of what level he's.
90s.
Okay, so the
Oh,
height of the
yeah.
Springer
That was,
show.
yeah.
Height of the Springer show.
So you were
I
down
was
to go to
flattered,
Spago?
but also kind of disgusted because
Yeah.
I was
Sure.
like, I mean, what would I do if he called me? But also, like, if he called me, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
getting a call like Jerry Springer.
Sure.
I think I might have still had. No, maybe we had voicemail at the time, but I remember thinking if he calls me and leaves me a voicemail, that's going to be my outgoing message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he never
Yeah.
called.
R.I.P.
What the
Jerry.
hell?
I know.
Yeah, and he's dead now. So
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Is he
Jerry.
dead?
Yeah,
He's dead.
Yes,
I
still
have no, I have
dead.
no
Oh,
chance.
he's dead.
We have to take another
gotta
Let's
get
take
a
another
shot.
break.
Okay, we're back.
Can we do a little Orange County? Is everybody
Yes,
watching
let's
Orange
talk
County?
Orange County. Yes, yes. I'm down.
Ooh, okay, so I had been saying that this cast is especially mean, all of them. And I had pointed out that Emily is like VIP of mean for a couple reasons. And some
Nowhere.
people push back to me
I
because
disagree
Tamrat is
vehemently.
horrible. Okay. Especially after what Vicky Gundelson did this past episode. Did you watch this week where
Yes,
she was
I
on
did.
her? There's not even a word for the high horse she was on.
Right, right.
We are all Christian women. We believe in Jesus. You believe in Jesus. You believe. Heather, you don't believe in Jesus. You're going to hell.
Right.
Well,
and then Emily goes, roll the clip of Vicky.
and I wish they would have let it run longer. They literally have 3 years of back-to-back clips of her just being the worst, horrible human being. Emily, especially though, because she's going after Jen, who's broke Jen, right?
Yes.
Someone sent me, because I had been watching the show for a number of years and always remember that Emily and why am I not thinking of her husband?
Oh, Emily and Shane.
Shane
Both
Weasel.
went to law school later in life and had kids, and his parents floated them and still kind of float their
Right.
lifestyle. Completely forgotten that, and that buried. And then someone sent me an article this morning where she talks about how his parents basically float them. So I cannot believe that she has the balls to bust
That's
Jen.
true.
for
That's
that.
a good point.
Anyway, sorry.
That's a good
Random
point.
thought. But
yeah.
over.
Yeah, but Jen is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jen is ridiculous.
just when you feel sorry for her, she's like, "Why shouldn't I wear my Rolex?" Because you, I just
Not
don't-
only
these
should you
women
not
that are
wear
just
it, you
I
should
don't know,
sell
I
it."
couldn't afford the rent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's Erica Jane with the earrings. When you're being accused of stealing millions of dollars from plane crash victims that your husband evilly, like a criminal gremlin, took from
Defrauded.
them when they were dead, you shouldn't wear earrings that are worth $300,000. That's just what you shouldn't do.
$750,000.
Or each. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
Oh.
now
By the way,
this is the same thing.
He's in court. His court trial just started.
That's
this
right,
week.
this
yeah.
week.
Yeah, Erica Jane's
Tom
husband.
Girardi.
It is
Tom Girardi.
shocking that he
should
is
probably
still
get the
alive.
death penalty. There's we were talking about it on the last episode that we did. I don't think there's a single housewife that I find more vile and evil than Tamra. I don't think that there's anybody
Tamra
that is
is
worse than her.
Tamra to us, Emily is mean and there's no denying it.
Yeah.
Tamra will go, like she'll be there for people like Shannon after she was getting, or when she was getting divorced, or after David cheated on her and all of that stuff. And then she purposefully uses it against you. Like Shannon or Tamra sitting there at the dinner being like, was that before or after you have a drink?
Right.
I'll hit you in your fucking face. You
I
are a
mean-
mean bitch
Yeah,
for no reason.
And why does her voice go up 4 octaves when she's yelling? You know, like at the dinner
Awful.
table. It's so so cringe.
Tamra, shameless plug for friend of the show, Kate Casey. She just had Tamrat on. And Tamrat was saying how her getting kicked off the show for a little while actually helped her coming back to this. And I think looking at it as kind of a job, which my job is to be a shit stirrer. And if that means being a horrible person, who cares? It makes great TV.
Yeah.
So Tamrat may be looking at this now as really just her job. But I'd say throwing every single friend that you have under the bus, no loyalty to anybody, including Eddie, Eddie, you'll be handed your walking papers when she needs a storyline in 2 years.
Right.
Trust me.
Yeah.
That would not be the kind of life that I would want for myself.
I agree.
She's just such a disgusting human being. And I get like the shit stirring and stuff like that, but Tamra does it in a way that is so revolting and skin itching. And like her sitting down with boobs,
Jesus Judge.
Alexis.
Jesus Jugs.
She gave her that name, by the way.
And
She did.
just all sewing all of this stuff, and just the way that she operates is disgusting.
I agree. And she also, the way that she teams up with people in times of convenience and then immediately is dropped as soon as like you said, she has no loyalty to anybody. I think that her children I'm shocked that they have turned out the way that they have as well as they have. Her daughter seems very well adjusted. I loved that she was like, I'm not your fucking therapist. Stop talking to me about this.
Yeah.
Tamra is the most self-absorbed, like everything is about her, and she's an awful human being.
But
But
Kyle,
don't forget her son is one of the worst.
Oh, he's
people
a jail
on the
rat.
planet.
I don't mean Ryan. Ryan's not what I mean. I mean the younger.
The younger,
Ryan
like
is
the
a
girls. Yeah.
disaster.
What did
Ryan
Ryan
is
do?
horrific. He's
domestic
awful.
battery.
He's a disaster he's one. I'm not kidding. And I say this like with like a little sliver of pain in my heart for him because he was raised fucking by her. But he is the type of son that you have that I actually think it would break your heart because he's horrible to the mother of
What
his
does he do?
daughter.
If you Google what does he do like for a job?
no. What does he do for
one of the
crime?
things that he did, well, he domestic abuse. I mean, he hurt his the woman,
One
who
of the
had
baby mamas.
Yeah. But also, he came out with this thing. This was a few years ago. This is when I stopped watching the show because to boycott him. But he came out with this. He went on this transphobic rant and basically advocated for murdering trans people.
Oh, wow.
And I was writing to Andy Cohen. I was just like, how can you have him on the show? Like, I'm not, like, literally was like, people should kill trans people.
Yeah, like he doubles down on it when he's called out too. Like there's no like, that's not what I meant. Like there's like a, yeah, I fucking said it and what? And you're just like, what? It's dark. It's a dark.
What a psycho.
Look, I'm not going to always connect the parent with the child's bad behavior, but did Tamrat get any shit for that?
Yes. Well, first of all, he started with a different situation. He was just like anti-trans. So he was talking about a woman who let her kid transition, and he was just like, it's disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And then Tamra, this was all like on Twitter, the original thing. And then Tamra agreed. And then, yes, a lot of people came for Tamra, and she was like, oh, well, I was just saying, like, I don't, but then he went on a crazy rant about a different person. And that's when Tamra was like, okay, I don't, what he's saying, I do not agree with that. I'm not, but still, that's your kid. Yeah. And you started out agreeing with, like, to me, you don't get to agree with some stuff, but then, oh, well, like, yeah, I think it's disgusting, but okay, now he's gone too far. And I don't agree with that.
She is the worst housewife.
And also, here's an example.
She's the worst.
Think back 10 years ago, Gretchen wasted at the dinner table.
Oh, I would think about this all the time.
Tamrat essentially urges her son to, because she's wasted in the bathroom, to just go in there because she's drunk wasted or something.
Naked wasted.
And just think about that. Tamrat wasn't a 23-year-old mother at that point.
Right.
Tamrat's in her 40s engaging this type of behavior.
Yes,
yeah, I'm not a fan of hers.
Yeah.
With teenage daughters at that point, or daughters that were like 10 or something. Like she has daughters.
Her in to get raped. And basically, remember when that was the whole thing where she did that hand gesture that was like,
oh, like finger
two
her or
in the
something?
pink, one in the stink or whatever. Telling
yeah.
him her son gave the hand signal. It was a whole scandal at the time that she was basically, go in there and assault her. She's so drunk.
So is there anybody that is even remotely close? Like, I know Teresa went to prison and stuff, and
Teresa's just a vapid, dumb. She's a bitch, but she's so dumb that you kind of like her.
So
her
dumb.
level. I like her going to prison. I do not think that she has the capability to understand what the fuck she was signing. I think she did as she was told. Granted, you're not allowed to do that. You can. Tamra is like, there's a level of cunningness behind it and evil that I don't know that anyone else has.
because Kyle Richards, like, it produces on the fly, and she's very annoying, and she's protected, and we hate her for that. But she's not like, I don't think she's anywhere
she doesn't have a black
near
heart like
Tamra.
Tamra.
She really
Shannon
does.
is annoying. Can we just agree?
Yeah.
Shannon is a downer and annoying and
a perpetual victim.
yes.
And when you met her dad
always-
this episode,
Yes.
is this the first time we ever
Gene
met
the
her dad?
Machine?
Gene the Machine.
Gene the dance, yes.
Where he told her to go for the juggler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The juggler.
And by the way, she's going to spend $75,000 to fight $75,000. Like,
you spend $150,000 to get
Yeah,
some.
but her dad's loaded though, right?
She comes from money, and I don't know what $75,000 is to her at this point. First of all, her facelift looks fantastic. The facelift was great. It was worth every penny. That being said, she needs to stop crying, and she just needs to be a little bit more embarrassed about how emotional she is outwardly, I think, and about this specific, like, Johnny J.
We got to get rid of Johnny.
We got to let him go. We got to let him go.
can we
Sexy
talk about him
Lexi
for a
and Johnny
second?
Depp.
How gross is he? Just, I mean, the fact that now he's dating Jesus Jugs, but did you hear in the trades they said something like he wanted to pay her not to be on the show, pay
Jesus Jugs?
Alexa? Yeah.
Are you kidding me? She's been waiting 10 years to crawl back into this show.
I know, but she said to some reporter that, Johnny said he was going to pay me not to be on the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
Well,
said he would
how's that
pay her
working out?
salary.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah.
I think she's lying about that.
Well,
I do too.
I hope that she is, because if he did say that, that's insane. And she said, I think last week, that they're getting married. That when she was
she
like,
keeps
Shannon,
saying-
you're going to come for the man that I'm going to marry? Absolutely not. I'm going to, and then.
And it's stuff like that really reminds you that Alexis Bellino should be institutionalized. I mean, she's
a nut
absolutely
job.
out of her fucking mind.
When she's talking and when she's doing her confessionals and she's like, oh, you're going to invite Debbie Downer to the golf thing and you're not going to invite me, Alexi, who's a good time, like, and then shakes her boobs to the camera. Like, what the fuck?
It is insane.
And she's got a screechy voice too.
I am enjoying her return, though. I'd love to have Gretchen back on as well.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I think that she's lying about the John Jay thing
100%.
because I think that the only person that wanted her on the show more than her is him.
Agreed.
I don't buy that
He's like Ryan, who's dating Jen, who's embroiled in a scandal of his own.
Oh,
which
he's
we'll see how that
another
plays.
creep.
Why do they pick these creeps?
I don't know. Because she's a dumbass, first of all. I mean, I think she just.
What's his scandal? Do you know?
Yeah,
Ohtani.
so he may have laundered some money from the guy who. So Ohtani's the new Dodger. He's like the star and got like a $500 million contract or whatever. He had what do you call it? A translator? Is that the
Yeah.
word? And the translator embezzled $16 million out of his account for years doing this.
for gambling.
And he needed help embezzling, laundering some of that money. And this guy Ryan is in some of the correspondence.
Are you serious?
The money was in his account, I'm pretty sure, at certain points. Like, they were
Okay.
using his bank accounts
I
to.
had no idea. That's crazy.
So yeah, he's a prize.
Well, he's a scumbag.
One note on Shannon Bedore.
Yes.
I think a lot of these people would be helped by having a day job. I think the idle hands of the devil's playground with her. When you wake up at 9 and then of course you do some yoga and then you have 8 hours to kill until the kids come home from school or something you need to do.
You gotta see-
It's pretty easy to stare at that bottle from across the room and get started around
yeah,
now.
of course.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think is her problem.
I agree.
She needs more purpose and I
Yes.
think we could see
I think Tamara even said that on her walk with Emily. Like, she's like, we're scrappy. We get to work and stuff, but I don't know if was she talking about? I think she was talking about Jen.
Does
but-
Tamara, I will say, and the only thing I'll ever give her probably is she did get divorced, and then she was like, I got to get some dimes,
right.
and I got my real estate license, and I was not going to go back and live with that fucking monster, and I wasn't taking his shit, so I wanted to do this on my own, and she did, which is, I also, like, she admits it, like, she doesn't come from money, like, they were poor, and so she looks
Right.
at someone like Jen and is like, what the actual fuck
How
are
do
you
you
doing?
get to 50 years old without having a credit card in your name?
That's crazy.
How's
story.
that possible?
I will say this though, to Ruby's point, Ruby, they're not allowed to say, go break the fourth wall. Tamrat at some point was making $500,000 a year for being on this show.
Right.
I think they've now renegotiated. That was part of why I think they made Vicky a friend and then had Tamrat because they wanted more money. Because think about at the height of that, maybe even 5 or 6 years ago, how popular Real Housewives was of Orange County. And to think all that money's coming in and they're giving basically the people drawing all the eyes in $500,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think, right?
Yeah.
So,
Too much money.
Yeah.
Too much money.
Especially Vicky. I mean, she's the OG.
and you can tell every scene she hates being a friend
she
of the
hates
show.
being a friend.
Yeah, I would too. She started it. She created her and Tamrat laid out the blueprint for all of this.
Right.
Who said Tamrat? Who's this Tamrat?
Danny Pellegrino.
I think it's Danny Pellegrino, right?
I mean, it's not that clever of a name.
No.
I just settle this. John Jansen did not give Shannon money for a facelift. That money was a loan. I believe him on this. He's horrible, but you do not wire that level of money and then another payment unless Shannon is like, I need more money. Can I borrow some money? Or if he's like,
Stephanie, I agree with you.
Yeah, I just don't think
but-
he was. If he's so broke or whatever, he doesn't have like. Why is she paying for everything? And then suddenly he's like, "Oh, let me just gift you. Oh, you want a facelift? That's on me."
Here's my thing
no.
though. If you're going to threaten to sue somebody, you better have some kind of
Paperwork.
So
I'm sure he does.
I hope he does, because if not,
It sounds like he has wire transfer receipts. I don't know how you can prove that you have to have correspondence, that it's a loan.
sure they've had
was it a
texts
loan?
about it.
Was it a loan or a gift? And this is where it gets really the gray area, because it could have been both. It could have been some conversations of, "Hey, I'll loan you the money, don't worry about it."
Right.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Like, yeah, it might have been a loan, but they're in a less than meaningless relationship. So there are no legal constructs around. It's not a marriage. So
I just feel
don't-
bad for Archie.
Me
yeah,
too.
I mean, Archie.
I
almost
know,
died.
but then Alexis
Poor
got
Archie.
a dog just like Archie. Did you?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Psychotic.
And
too.
intentional.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
psychotic.
Yeah.
It's too on the nose. Like, what the fuck?
Also,
great season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna
it's
say, I gotta say, Alexis coming back was what I think we needed something to judge, and she
Yes.
was a good judge. I'm here
I
for
agree.
it. Great season.
I wish Katie, and I hope Katie can bring it. I think it's a great start. She will get eaten up by the machine. You even saw her this week in a scene where she's like, "Oh, you guys will all sell me out."
Yeah.
And I want someone to go for HD.
I
Someone needs to take
know.
Heather Dubrow down.
I know. I agree.
I have personal stories of her being an absolute horrible person.
Oh, really?
I prompted other people to come in. A bunch of people wrote in like their own individual horrible Heather Dubrow stories. She's an absolute nightmare, a horrible person. He's equally as horrible. And I want them to
Wow.
be taken down.
Give
Is
us
that
one.
Drake's
yeah,
house?
I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that Botched, after the second season was successful, they went to both doctors, Terry and I forget who the other.
Paul Nassif.
Yeah.
Massive.
And Paul was all on board with this. They said, let's add a female doctor. Let's kind of bring this out. Terry's like, nope, it's my show. No female. Refused.
Wow.
I think that's pretty cool. The guy who's always speaking to let's empower women and
Yes,
his wife always saying
exactly.
that. Here's an opportunity to present a female plastic surgeon on this established platform. And he was like, no go.
Wow.
So talk out of one side of your mouth. That's just one story.
Yeah. What is? I mean, what do you guys think about the paparazzi thing? You think that?
I
think
that
it's so stupid.
that they plan
If
it?
I knew you could call a paparazzi, Lynette,
Yes.
okay, if I had that number, I would. Except go to TMZ.com. There is a number on the front page that says if you know there's a celebrity,
Right.
call here and we'll give you a fee.
Right. Right.
So that number exists, Terry. We're not idiots.
So
Yes.
they
You
probably
think we are.
They
But there's
probably
not one guy. I just don't buy this whole thing of like, I know the guy that's in
That's the
charge of
weird-
all paparazzi showing up at any possible place. And then her proof is going like, hey, did she call the paps? Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
he just writes yes.
I have the receipts.
By
That's
the
not
way,
a
who
receipt.
cares? Why is she
Exactly.
bringing this to the table? Like,
Yeah, that's not gonna take
it's
Heather down.
Yeah.
nobody cares. One, two.
Right.
Heather likely called them. She called them. Everybody knows she called them. Heather
called
knows she
them.
called them. But nobody cares. And also, that it was such a weird way to say it when Katie said her phrasing. And I love Katie, but she was like, "And my friend runs the paparazzi." And I was like,
of the world,
Yeah, that's-
worldwide.
"What does that mean, Katie? That's not possible. That can't be right, right?"
was-
So.
Well, I just hope they get a townhouse on the moon when it's available so none of us need to hear from them again.
Right.
You know, they love to buy property.
Yeah, they do love their property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy, her husband though, Katie's husband is such a dolt.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yes.
Golfy.
Yeah.
Like he looks
Yeah.
translucent. You
Right.
know? He's like with his gray hair and I mean, he's the most non
He's anemic,
person.
yeah.
And then the fact that on their first date, apparently he just never showed up.
Yeah.
And his
That's right.
excuse was he was just
Yeah.
tired. This woman is after the money.
Yeah.
And she got it. And she got it.
Yeah.
I think they like each other though. I will say that. Like some of them you can tell, like the Aiden
Yes.
ones, like they actually, their husbands are like, I wish that you would die. I wish that you would
Right.
die. And I'll figure out how to mourn with the kids. You are awful. I think that they're like, we can sit with each other for like
Yeah.
an hour and a half and
Yeah, I
not want to
agree.
be miserable. And that's a win.
That's all you can hope for.
Win. W.
That's all you can hope for.
All right.
Well, this has been fantastic.
Look at us.
Go for crying out loud. 5 stars, kind words. Do it right now.
And Bad TV. Don't forget Bad
Yes.
TV. Don't
Do it
sleep on
right
Bad
now.
TV, you guys. It's a great show.
Yeah.
You guys have a very active Facebook page.
We do?
I never go on
I
it.
say
see,
mean things
I see
about me on
posts
there.
all the time.
I apologize to our fans about never going on it, but I just never go on it. I should go on it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
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 Why do you hate your fans?
Well, I don't
they disgust me. No, I love our fans. Most of our fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Couple of our fans.
Let's not forget to promote Bonfire Talks. That's our friend Mark Wahlberg's
Yes.
Yeah.
podcast.
You know, that show that he used to host, I guess, is coming back.
That show is, that's what, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And so-
no, they announced it. They announced it's coming.
They did?
I just
It's
want to
coming back?
clarify something really quickly. I love all of our fans. When I said a couple of them, I meant I've already
The ones that he's thrown you out of the Facebook group.
yeah, if you're hearing this, you're not one of them.
Yeah.
I've thrown you out of the Facebook groups
And Patreon.
Patreon.
People that pay us.
Oh,
really?
yeah, I pay you. Well, go. Get out of here. Fuck off.
All right,
That's
everybody.
great. All right.
You're a parent now.
you.
Yeah, don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.